Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully you're having a great day. In today's video we're going to talk about the top 5 most valuable doubled die wheat pennies. So I've got a list I wrote out of the top 5 that we're going to talk about, including the 1909 VDB, 1917, 1941, 1955, and 1958. So I've got an example of the regular strike 1941, 55, and 58 to kind of use as placeholders and as examples. As you guys know, I like to have some of them in front of me. I do not have the 1909 VDB double dyed for a very good reason, and that is because those coins are very hard to find. So I'm not sharing any of those in person with you, but we'll talk about why a little bit later in the video. Before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, please do check out some of the other videos on my channel. Recently, I've been kind of on a penny binge and making mostly penny videos. So those videos include time to cash in your 2017 P pennies, small date Lincoln cents, copper pennies versus copper plated zinc, 1943 steel penny. So a lot of great penny videos going up recently, and hopefully this will be one of them as well. So let's get into the first one I have on my list right here, which is the 1909 VDB. Now 1909 VDB is the initials of the engravers, and those appeared on 27 million that came out from the Philadelphia Mint and 484,000 that came out from the San Francisco Mint. 1909 is the only year that has those VDB initials on them, and there were some that were made in 1909 with the initials and some that were made without them. So that 1909 SVDB is actually the most rare out of all of the Lincoln cents. The real key dates for the Lincoln cents, the top 4 are the 1909 SVDB, in which are just 484,000, 1909 San Francisco Mint, 1.8 million, 1914 Denver Mint, 1.1 million, and 1931 S, 866,000. So those are the top 4 key dates. So 1909, as you can imagine, appears on that list twice, so it's very valuable and very hard to come across. So in the remainder of the video, what we're going to do is go through these 5 and kind of give you the prices of some recent auction results. If PCGS does have their survival chart on them, I'll share that information with you. Survival estimates, I believe, is the actual word for it. So the 1909 VDB doubled die Lincoln cent. The most highly graded one is a Mint State 67. PCGS has graded 3 of those, and MS 67. Those have a price guide of $35,000. The most recent auction result of a high graded Mint State 1909 doubled dyed occurred in February 2018 at the Heritage Auction, in which a Mint State 66 sold for $9,000. So that's the first one on the list. 4 more to go. Now, in case you're unfamiliar with what the doubled dyed version looks like, so there's doubling that's going to appear around the letters. So look for the date, look for Liberty, look for In God We Trust. And if you have a microscope handy, that will be a great help for you. But some of them are even visible with just the naked eye. And the more severe of the doubling, the more valuable it's going to be worth. So to determine the value of the coin, it's kind of a couple of things that come into consideration. One is the severity of the doubling. One is the rarity of the coin. So if it's a rare year like 1909, that will increase the value. And the third is the grade of the coin. So a Mint State 67, very highly graded coin, considering that the scale only goes up to 70. All right, so let's start with number 2 on the list, which was moving on to number 2, which was the 1917. So just some price information on that. So PCGS has graded a lot more of these at kind of the lower levels. They've graded 1 at a Mint State 65 that has a price guide of $75,000. And they do have their rarity and survival estimates for the 1917 doubled dyed. So that tells you approximately how many are known or expected, how many are expected to be out there. So at all grades, they have a survival estimate of 40. At mid-state 60 or better, still the estimate is 40. Mid-state 65 or better, they estimate that just 25 have survived. Now the mintage for 1917, much higher than that that 1909. So there are 196 million that were produced at the Philadelphia Mint in 1917. And now moving on to the first more modern one we have right here. I'll go through these three ones pretty quickly. So this one is the 1941. The 1941 doubled dyed PCGS, the most valuable one, is graded mid-state 66. A price guide of only 3,250 of those. However, a price guide of only $3,250. And that is because they've created 33 of them at a mid-state 66. So that's why the price is so low for that 1941 doubled die. Now, all the ones that we're talking about have that RD designation to them. So in addition to that mid-state 66, 67, all of them do have that red coloring to them. The next one we have right here, the fourth one, is the 1955. So this one has a survival and rarity estimate as well. And this one, very common. So that's good and bad. It's good because it increases the odds of you finding one. It's bad because the prices kind of drop as a result. But PCGS has a survival estimate of $1,200 at a mid-state 60 or better, and just 75 at a mid-state 65 or better. So $75 coins is the number of coins that are estimated to have survived, but 1,200 of them might be kind of in between that mid-state 60 and 64. So could be a lot of them out there for that 1955 double dyed. And now the final one we have is 1958. And I should make a note that there are a couple of different varieties that can exist with the doubled dyed coins. So you might see, for an example, a type 1, type 2, type 3. If you want to know the actual price associated with them, you have to look them up by the very specific type. These values that I'm giving you are just the most valuable type. So keep that into consideration. Now for the final one, the grand finale, the 1958 doubled dyed. Now this one is by far the most rare and the most valuable. So PCGS has graded just one of them at a mid-state 65, and the price guide on that is $500,000. That has not sold at auction, but one actually did sell in March for $336,000. That was graded a mid-state 64. So I'll say that once more. One did sell for $336,000 just 3 months ago at a Stocks Barrows auction for $336,000. That's the mid-state 64 red double dyed 1958. Now, PCGS does not have a survival estimate guide for this one, as they've only verified 3 of them to ever known to exist. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. I can't really point out very specifics as far as the different types that you would come across. If you're looking to find more information on that, I'd highly recommend you just Google image search the double dyed version that you're looking for. So if you've got a 1958, which is a double dyed, and you think it might match up with that very valuable one that PCGS has on their website, look at the images on the PCGS website and then compare that to yours. That's all the information I've got for today. Thanks everyone for checking out the video. If you're into coin collecting, please do check out some of my other videos on the channel. Thank you very much everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy!